I'm stranded on a desert island, but I was fortuitous enough to know that this event was going to happen, and thusly I have chosen one film to take with me. One film for one shelf. So we're going to take a look at my next shelf and pick the disc that I would be taking with me if I was stranded on a desert island. So this is Desert Island Discs, episode 6. So welcome back to the channel, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of Desert Island Discs. Now, if you're new to the channel or new to this video, you don't know what it's about. Basically, I've never done a top 10 favourite films or anything like that. Jaws is my favourite film of all time, I believe. It's the one film I always cite as being my favourite. So I thought, how can I incorporate this into my channel beyond doing a top 10 or a top 5, which, to be honest, I'm going to find extremely difficult to do. Nigh on impossible to do. I thought, you know what, I'm going to go through my collection one shelf at a time, and I'm going to pick that one disc with maybe a couple of runners up from that shelf out of all the other films on that shelf to take with me if I knew that I was going to be stranded on a desert island, which makes no sense, because if you knew you was going to be stranded on a desert island, you wouldn't put yourself into that situation in the first place, would you? I don't think so, no. Now, this way of doing things isn't without its flaws, because obviously, like 2 weeks ago, I'd done the shelf above, and I chose my favourite film from the shelf above. But dropping down to the next shelf, I might pick my favourite film from that shelf, but lo and behold, there is another film on the shelf above that I would then put over that film. So this isn't... It's just a bit of fun more than anything. It's a way of looking at the collection, talking about it a little bit, and you know, picking out that which I would put above the others and the reason why. Now, this also gives you the opportunity to take a look at some of the films that I've got, eventually all the films that I've got, and I'd like you, while you're going along, maybe, you know, drop a comment down guessing what film I'm going to pick, see if you were right, and tell me what film out of all of those you would pick. Now, at the moment, this does sort of seem almost in an alphabetical order, but it won't always be that way. It will be for the time being, but when I get around to the tops and all the other stuff behind me and around here, it falls differently somewhat, because the collection does have an A and B, C, D bit to it, but then it has other sections as well. It works for me, okay? It works for me. So without waiting any longer, let's start this off. But before I do, if you have to wait longer, hit the subscribe button, come join the channel, hit notification bell, because this series drops every 2 weeks on a Saturday afternoon. So let's do it. Okay, so today we are going to venture down here somewhere. I believe it is this shelf here that you can hardly see. It's darkened, but we will sort that out. So first of all, I need to move out the way these two Punisher images, Amazing Spider-Man 129 and Punisher Warzone issue 75 with Lynn Michaels as the female Punisher on the cover. Also, let's move Caesar, my Caesar bust. There he is, no monkey business, out of the way. And we're going to plonk ourselves down here. I'm going to try and create a bit more light, and we shall take a look. It's this one here. Okay, so we have done that. We've done that. We've done that, where the alien figures are in front of. We've done that. We've done that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so shelf 6, and then 2 weeks we'll be onto this shelf down here. Just a little tease there. Okay, so I don't really want you seeing me. You don't need to see me for this. So you're going to see a bit of me, but yeah, we got the shelf there, okay? Oh, we can see me, so oh yeah, there I am. So I've positioned the camera in such a way that the light source is better. So I'm going to take, I've taken some down from the top first. So let's take a look at what I've got on top. Okay, first up, we have the movie Central Intelligence with Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart. I remember enjoying it. I can't remember much about it. They've got good chemistry together, though, I will say that. And then we have the movie, this is from Germany, Chips, based on the classic TV series. I didn't mind this film. I know people slated it. I enjoyed it. Then we have The Change Up with Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman, and this was a body swap comedy. Again, a film that I should really give another watch to. What did that cost? That cost me £6 in CEX. In Croydon, none other. Yeah, still got a receipt in there. But there we go. That was some time ago. Causden South. Travel card in there as well. Yeah. And then we got an Adam Sandler film, and Click. And do you know what? I actually really like this film. This is an Adam Sandler film that really worked for me. Kate Beckinsale's in it. I love Kate Beckinsale as an actress. Christopher Walken plays a part in it. I don't know. I just thought this was a really good film. What do we have here? So here we have The Due Date. A lot of these are comedies at the moment. With Zach Galifianakis and Robert Downey Jr. I remember seeing this at the cinema, but I can't remember it very much. Another one I saw at the cinema, Sacha Baron Cohen in The Dictator. Did it have a slip? It must have done at some point. And then we have the two Daddy's Home movies. First one far better than the second one. I think Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg work really well for one another. Obviously they've done that other film when they were the coppers as well. The name eludes me, but I really enjoy it. The Other Guys, that was it. That is in the collection somewhere. Okay. Then we have here Dumb and Dumber 2. I do have Dumb and Dumber somewhere. It's not here though. Where is it? Was it under the D's? I don't know. Anyway, it's Dumb and Dumber 2. Yeah, it made me chuckle. I don't know why I've got this film. Campaign. I bought it really cheap. Poundland jobby. Can't remember nothing about it. I had seen it before that. Instantly forgettable. And Schwarzenegger's Commando, which for me was a first time watch not too long ago. And I'm pretty sure some people might think that this would be a contender. It's not, just to... you're meant to be guessing, but because I didn't watch it at the time it came out, it's a recent watch. It just hadn't. There was nothing about it that hooked me to want to see it. But yeah, so and then we have here Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, with Christophe Lambert in the title role. I used to watch this film when I was young. I think my mum really liked it. Yeah. Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes. Should give that a rewatch sometime. Then we have a 3D version of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, which I used to watch with the kids, but I picked this up more recently, £1.50. I like the way the case, it has that sort of clear thing to it, so it gives you a bit of depth. Yeah, and it was a fun film when I used to watch it. Not as good as the original, but Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. £3 I picked up for that. Why do I keep these stickers on? I don't know. So I'm peeling it off while we're sat here. So that's the top of the shelf done, as you can see. So we're going to now move on to the stuff below those bits, before those bits go back. So we have here, okay, first up, another stickers, £2.50, Children of Men with Clive Owen. Obviously I did see this back in the day. Look at that. It's a decent film. Julianne Moore stars in it. I like Julianne Moore, but I don't think she's in it long, is she? Doesn't she get killed? Is it her who gets the bullet through the head? It's been some time since sort of give up on them stickers. I visited it. Then we have Liam Neeson in Cold Pursuit. Yeah. A couple of classics now. The Cannonball Run. How many times they used to be on TV when I was a youngster? Burt Reynolds, Roger Moore, Farrah Fawcett. It's a good film. It's a fun film. And then we have here, I paid £12 for this, Cannonball Run 2. They still have the books inside and everything like that. But yeah, Cannonball Run 2. Cool. Okay, so where are we at? Another Liam Neeson, The Commuter, with Slip. City Slickers, Billy Crystal, Daniel Stern, Bruno Kirby. Very good film. Very, very good film. No City Slickers 2 on Blu-ray for us. Then we have Chicago. For my ex-wife's kind of cup of tea. She used to be a dancer. Well, she's a dancer. My ex-wife, Italian dancer, so she likes sort of stage musicals and all that sort of a thing. But it wasn't a bad film. It wasn't a bad film. Catherine Zeta-Jones, Richard Gere, Renee Zellweger, Academy Award winner, Best Picture, 2002. Wow. There we go. Then we have Ruby Rose and Jean Reno in a film that I don't know why I've got it. German release, The Doorman. I can't remember nothing about it. Wow. That's how bad it is. A film that had a little revival just a couple of years ago now. Contagion. Yeah. The, obviously, COVID made this film, and Outbreak hit the sort of charts again. Then we have The Counselor, which I'm yet to watch. I've not seen this one. I picked it up on the basis of Fassbender, Penelope Cruz, Cameron Diaz, Javier Bardem, Brad Pitt. It's a fantastic cast. Directed by Ridley Scott. Extended cut. Is it any good, or is it one of those films that was heavily slated? I don't know. Then we have Crazy Stupid Love. I really like Steve Carell. Ryan Gosling's in it. He's great. Julianne Moore's a great actress. Emma Stone, Marissa Tomei, and Kevin Bacon. That's got a star-studded cast to it. It's so good that I can't even remember it very much. I can't remember it. And it wasn't that long ago I watched it. Okay, so next up we have Crimson Peak. This is the one with Loki in, isn't it? Mia Wasikowska, Jessica Chastain, Tom Hiddleston, yes. Fair enough. Oh, this is a decent film. Death Sentence with Kevin Bacon. One of them sort of Punisher-esque type of, films, violent revenge story. Then we have Delivery Man with Vince Vaughn. I quite liked Vince Vaughn. Okay, I admit that the guy's got no range whatsoever. Although he's done a couple of films recently, and he dragged across concrete and brought on Cell Block 99. But they were all right. Dog's Purpose. So I can bring that camera a bit closer, shall we? Yes, I've got shorts on, okay? I'm not sat in naked. Dog's Purpose, Dennis Quaid. There was a sequel or two to these. It's a good film, sad film. Now, what's this one? I am not... Yeah, well, mate, how's it go? There it goes now. I am not an animal. I am a human being. The story of John Merrick, the Elephant Man, Anthony Hopkins, John Hurt, and Bancroft. Difficult watch. His name is actually Joseph, not John. Joseph Merrick. Then we have The Eagle. Okay, Channing Tatum. Mel Gibson, this is still unopened. Edge of Darkness with Ray Winston. As you can see, came from Poundland back in the days. Now, a TV movie directed by John Carpenter, starring Kurt Russell. Elvis the movie. Quite difficult to get hold of this film now. But yeah. This one came from Shout, it's the American. We're into the E's, so we have Elysium. from Neil Blomkamp. Looks really nice. His films look nice. Sean Connery, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Entrapment. I remember seeing this at the cinema. I think all I remember now is the bit where she slips under the lasers. And here we have a couple of films with a sequel, a third one coming out very soon. Denzel Washington, The Equalizer. Now, if ever there's an argument where race swapping doesn't matter, it's The Equalizer. Denzel Washington is such a fantastic actor that he fulfills that part, made famous by Edward Woodward on TV, with great fashion. And then we have Escape from New York. John Carpenter classic, Snake Plissken. Escape from LA, the sequel to that, which is more akin of a remake, but there we go. And then we have Escape from Absalom with Ray Liotta, or as it's otherwise called, No Escape. I think it's got 4K in Germany now. Is this a German one? It came from a foreign territory. I don't think it weren't Germany. Now, trilogy of films. Escape Plan. Escape Plan 2. And Escape Plan 3. Dave Bautista. Obviously, Arnie and Sly were in the first one. Great having them in the film together. Sly, well, I think he had a tiny part in the second one. Dave Bautista. I don't mind Dave Bautista in film. He's pretty good. If you want to phone home, who better to ask than E.T. Now, some of these films you will see again, because I've got E.T., I've got a special collector's edition of it. I've got a 4K of Escape from LA and Escape from New York and things like that. And here we have, well, this is a 4K version actually, but it's in the slip. I kept the slip. Everest. I've got the 4K in there. I think I got that cheap, but I had the film anyway. Passed on the thingy, but kept the slip for it because it was quite a nice silver slip, and put the 4K into it. There we go. And I don't know why I've got 2 copies of this, but I do. And it is Salma Hayek in Everly. I don't know if there's a difference in runtime or something, because one says, I don't know. I've got no idea why. There we go. Those are the questions. Why? Then we have Ex Machina. Ex Machina. Interesting film. Experiment. This experiment was conducted for real. Obviously it didn't go as far as what happened here, but that sort of experiment was conducted, and that's from the creator of Prison Break, starring Adrian Brody, Forrest Whitaker. Stallone again now with The Expendables. Obviously we've got the fourth one coming very soon. The Expendables 2. Now when The Expendables came out, I was a bit disappointed. It wasn't what I had in mind that it would be. I thought Expendable 2 was better than the first one. And then we got Expendables 3, which was leaked online before the release ever came out, etc. Now, an Arnie double bill. Collateral Damage and Eraser in there. 2 discs. And we have Eraser Reborn, which is a sort of sequel come remake of that. It's basically one of those films that just uses the name more than anything else. You couldn't go into it expecting a sequel to that as such. It wasn't bad when taken on its own merits. It had some dodgy CGI work at the end, but I didn't mind it. I mean, it's not a good film, don't get me wrong. Right, it's probably a bad film, but I didn't mind it. Sometimes I don't mind bad films. Then we have Dalwich. Enemy Mine, which was a really good film. Sci-fi, it's got a book in there as well. Sci-fi film that I used to visit as a kid. This is the Eureka release. It's the extended cut as well. Dennis Quaid, Louis Gossett Jr. It's a fabulous film. Now, if you see the end, directed by Wolfgang Peterson, if you've ever seen Battlestar Galactica, or Galactica 1980, season 2 of Battlestar Galactica, the originals, the last episode is exactly the same as this, or this is exactly the same as that, in that the last episode is Starbuck trapped on a planet with a Cylon, none other, and him and the Cylon have to learn to coexist to survive. It was really good. It's the only episode of that series worth watching. Then we have Elf, which I do have in 4K as well. What can I say about Elf? Christmas staple, that film. Easy A, that I bought for £1, because I think Emma Stone's a great actress. I think she's really good. I enjoy watching her films. Then we have a bootleg here, and I do have the second one downstairs, bootlegged as well, Enola Holmes, with what's her face, you know, from whatchamacallit. Yeah, what's her face from whatchamacallit. We're getting towards the end. And then we have here Extraterrestrial. I bought this for like £1 because it's got such a fantastic lenticular slip on it. That's it. I've not watched it. I bought it for that because I thought that was a really nice slip. But yeah. Then, I love this film. I do love this film. Escape to Victory. For a World War II film, it shows the Nazis in a very human light. You know, Max von Sydow. It's a lot of fun. It's a really fun film. Stallone, Michael Caine, Max von Sydow, Pele. You know, it's a really good film. And here's a film that flopped massively. Still sealed. Heaven Almighty. But I like Steve Carell, so I like this film. And I've probably watched this one more than what I've watched Bruce Almighty with Jim Carrey, because I love Steve Carell. I think he's fantastic. Then we have here Erin Brockovich, which is a really strong performance by Julia Roberts. It also stars Aaron Eckhart, based on true story, and just a solid film. Then we have here Extraction, but not the good one. Not the one that's just had a sequel on Netflix. This is another Extraction, but it does star Bruce Willis. Probably phoning it in. And Gina Carano, who I'm a big supporter of. I think Gina Carano is great. And then we have this film here, and for the life of me, I now cannot remember the British title of it, because we ain't got it over here, I don't believe, on Blu-ray. Liv Tyler in... Someone tell me the title. It's eluding me at this moment in time. Okay, so there we go. That shelf is now all back in place, back in situ. Have you picked out what film you would take with you onto a desert island? If you knew you was going to be on a desert island. Like I said, that makes no sense. But what was the one film off that shelf? You could only pick one film off that shelf, right? What would it be? Let me know, and let me adjust and get sat back up, and I'll tell you what mine is. Okay, so I'm sat back up here, and I've picked the film that I would take me, and it might be surprising to some. It might surprise a lot of you, because although there's some decent titles on that shelf, there's a lot of dross as well, in hindsight. But it makes for a fabulous collection. There we go. So obviously there's things like E.T. Now I didn't pick E.T. off of that shelf. I didn't. It's a fantastic film, but I didn't pick it. Same goes for I don't know. This is a difficult one, right? Because nothing really jumped out at me apart from a few titles. And I'm going to do my two runners-up first. And the first runner-up is Escape from New York, John Carpenter's classic film, which I adore, I love. But what can I say about it? Snake Plissken, I think, is Kurt Russell's best character that he's ever played. I don't know, it's just so cool. I like Escape from LA as well. Obviously not as good as this film, but I have a lot of fun with it. But yeah, so that's a runner-up. It was a contender. And above this was, or below this was things like E.T. Not that E.T. is probably technically a better film, but do you know what I mean? It's and if it was a different day, this may have gone another way. So the next one, all right, and I love this film, I adore this film, and that is Enemy Mine. You heard me speak about it. I don't really need to speak any more about it. It's such a simple concept for a story. Two enemies, alone, have to depend on one another for survival. Come to an understanding, work through their differences, through their hatred for one another, for their species, and it's a really strong film. It's really good. But there we go. So that one film off of this shelf that I would take, honestly, I'd pick above all the others to take with me onto a desert island. And I didn't make fanfare of it when I picked it up, for good reason, because I knew that it was a contender. And that is City Slickers. I adore this film. I think this film is well directed. I think it's well written. I think these three characters just play off of one another fantastically. It's a warm, heartfelt film. It's got fantastic message, and I understand it. I mean, what I mean is, when you get to this sort of age, that sort of midlife crisis kind of an age, this just speaks to you, and it really does. And I don't know, I can't say anything more. I just think that it is, you know, the characters, the main character, Billy Crystal's character, goes through this transformation, finding himself again as the film goes on. He discovers who he is. He finds his smile, and when you've been beaten down by a life, you know, and you finally discover it again, it's so rich. It's so rewarding. It feels fantastic. I mean, you know, I suppose looking at this film, there's elements, I see elements of myself in the character, in the sense that, you know, there was a very, very long time where I wasn't happy. I wasn't a happy person at all. And you know, I wasn't happy. That's all I can say. And then I came out of it. I found that smile again. You know, and it took a long time to do. And it wasn't about a midlife crisis. It was events in life, and this film just kind of speaks to me in that way. So yes, that there is my choice. City Slickers. An emotional journey. That's all I say, that one. But there we go. So there's my and by the way, if you felt like, sounds like you got a loose disc in there, AJ, that is because I know they probably get scratched, but I have the Blu-ray, and where I used to have a DVD copy, I just stick the DVD copy in with the Blu-rays now, like so. Just get them out of the way. It's, you know, the best place for them. Yeah, I could put them in a little sleeve, but you know, I just can't bring myself to throw stuff away. I won't throw it away. I just not me. But there we go. So City Slickers. So that's that. So before I wrap up, in 2 weeks' time, obviously I will be back with another shelf. It's that bottom shelf down there, and when we've completed that bottom shelf, 2 weeks after that, we'll be up there, then working our way down that, and then where you can't see, I'll be working my way down that, then round the other side, and then I have another shelf there, at which point I will start either working along the tops or working my way around the room that you can't see behind the camera, which actually comes all the way up to here as well. It literally, yeah. So that being said, let me know your pick of film from that shelf. Let me know your reasons why. Let me know what you thought about my pick of film, whether you enjoy City Slickers, whether you've seen Enemy Mine, what you think of that, your thoughts on anything to do with film. You know, you must have had some some things stand out at you when I've gone through that show. It might have been the dross that was on that shelf. Let me know in the comments, and I shall see you all later. Thank you very much, and I look forward to reading what your pick was. See you back for another episode of this 2 weeks.